All right, so we're back here on another Couch Coach Live. Couch Coaches, we are back here on another Tuesday. We here. What's going on, Maui?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
So
what's
many
going on?
topics. So many topics. You think one thing, oh, he gonna talk about this. Then out the blue. you know.
Yeah,
How was
yeah.
how was your weekend though, man? Like
It was
it it,
cool.
it it was a lot of stuff that happened this weekend, man. That was
Yeah,
pretty good.
Unfortunately, a lot of stuff did go down this weekend. Unfortunately,
Right.
but yeah, man, it's yeah, it was a crazy weekend, especially when it comes to NFL. I mean, yeah, I thought a lot of things I thought we were gonna talk about, but I think the biggest elephant in the room is obviously
Right.
Jon Gruden being let go, and the
Right.
weird thing about it all is it happened during Monday Night Football, which
Yeah.
you really can't make this stuff up. I mean, obviously, and it's we'll get into that where essentially, unless you've been under a rock, Jon Gruden has resigned as the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and yeah, in a weird situation. I know Friday. I think this was before we. Well, it was after. I know we went on to do the Watch the Football Guys podcast. This was circling around. Obviously, the at that time it was the Morris Smith email at that
hmm
particular time that pretty much got him somewhat in whatever trouble on Friday, and then it pretty much metastasized. It just went to overdraft with the other tweets, not tweets, but the emails. The racist, the homophobic ones, and then the misogynist. Emails that transpired, and then lo and
hmm
behold, that was the dagger for him. So before we get started and get our takes, I had to get my guy. I had to get my up. Now he'll be joining us right here from Spotlight Raiders. What's going on,
Okay.
D Hop? What up?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Thank y'all for having me. I know this Raider stuff is
Yeah, man.
it's a
I,
lot going on, man. It's a
yeah,
lot
man.
going on.
I thought I won't go hit you up until December when we play y'all in Vegas. But hey, man,
Right.
hey, man, I gotta get you a little early. I thought I was gonna hit you up after Thanksgiving, but
I know, right?
yeah. So D Hop, man, you gotta what's going on in Raider Nation, man?
I honestly, I'm gonna let the people know, man, because I get a lot of scrutiny about a lot of stuff when it comes to the Raiders. I keep it 100. I keep it real. I let it be known, man. And I was never a Gruden fan. I wasn't a Gruden fan when he first came here. I was not a Gruden fan when he came back in 2018. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised about him resigning. I knew if we didn't make the playoffs this year, he was going to be gone by the end of the year anyway. Mark Davis was trying to find a way to get out of that contract. That number one, you shouldn't have paid a man $100 million for a guy that has not been successful in so long as a coach. Number one. Number two, he's questionable about his free agents. He's questionable about his play calling. He's questionable about drafting. He's just a questionable coach. And now with these emails coming out and me reading like a whole 5-page article about all the stuff that came out, I mean, everybody's right, man. Gruden's a fraud. Plain and simple. He's a fraud. And it's sad that he had to go out the way he had to go out as him resigning, because I didn't want him to resign. I said, give him to the end of the year. See if he can get us to the playoffs or something. And then if he doesn't get us to the playoffs, you let him go. But these emails, once they started coming out yesterday, it was clipped for him. I think he could have kept his job if the rest of the emails didn't come out. So that's my honest opinion on it. The Raiders, man, we're just next year we just got to look for a coach. We got our assistant coach. He's our special. They put the special teams coach as the interim head coach. Gus Bradley or Greg Olson didn't want that job, from what I'm hearing. It is what it is, man. I'm just ready to play Denver this weekend and get this shit over with. Excuse my language, but to get it over with, man. Gruden just put himself in another rabbit hole, man, all over again.
Yeah, man, I definitely feel you on that. So, Mallory, your thoughts on the resignation of Gruden? Your thoughts?
Right. First of all, I hate no disrespect, but I shouldn't really be saying this, but it feels really good to see coaches have this issue as much as they dog players when they get in trouble. That I'm not even gonna front. Like, you're just being a distraction. They're just being a distraction. So we talking of last few weeks has been coaches.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to read the emails. I wanted you to break it down to me. At first, I was on some, Dave Chappelle, like, you know what I mean? Like, what they trying to cancel me for? These are old emails, blah, 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 blah. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He a changed dude. But then I start, getting ready for the show and looking at stuff. They said, nah, he was a front. He was fake. He'd be one this way, and then he'd go around the corner and be a complete, different person.
Right.
Then I'm like, all these other emails came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, he gotta go. He gotta go.
Yeah, because
he even had an opportunity, because he knew what he did. Like, he even had an opportunity to come out and even when he was like, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not that. He could have put it out there then, like, look, man, in 2011, this and that, the world was different. I was talking to some friends, blah, blah, blah. And since then, he could have switched it up and did all that, but he didn't. He went on a type of rant and thought that might work. But nah, bro.
It's a list of things. It's the whole Eric Reed situation about the national anthem. He talked about Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Right. He talked about women shouldn't be reffing in the NFL. The topless bikini women and females.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on.
Right.
About the Michael Sam situation. The quote is Gruden said that they feel that Jeff Fisher shouldn't have drafted a queer in the NFL.
Right.
And that's Roger Goodell. And the Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell,
Once I seen that he dissed Roger Goodell, it was done from there.
It was done then. Yeah.
Right.
So how did they get all these? If you don't mind me asking, Coach, like, how did they get all these emails anyway? Like, how did that come about?
Well, it was a part of a Washington football team investigation, and certain parts of the investigation was leaked with the situation. And obviously, the recipient of those emails that Jay Gruden, I said Jay Lloyd, Jon Gruden, our former head coach, Jay, but John was sending those emails to our former team president, Bruce Allen. So he was a recipient of those emails, and I see your point where it's frustrating. I think it's already bad enough that Gruden is in this predicament, but then it all falls back to us, and it just, you're looking at the situation where what's going to be next for the situation. It's bound to have more and more people involved in this, and it's just one of those things where it's unfortunate, especially between these two teams, the Washington football team and the Las Vegas Raiders, blue bloods of the NFL, where you look at your past. I look at just how Al Davis would handle the situation. Like, Gruden would have been gone Friday. Like, Gruden, and you see how progressive Al Davis was. And then you look at, like, in our history, I look at George Allen. George Allen was one of kind of like one of the best coaches besides like as far as Joe Gibbs. He was one of our top coaches that we've ever had in this organization, and then for his son to be in this type of scandal is kind of one of those things where I look at it from a historical standpoint of just like how people who were before them is probably essentially rolling over their grave of what has just transpired in this investigation.
What's crazy about this is that I was on another Raiders content creator YouTube channel last night,
mm-hmm.
and we was looking at the time frame of when this was going on. Even Jay Gruden was the coach of the Washington football team at the time these emails was going on.
Correct.
Right.
So this it's just bigger than Jon Gruden. But like I said before, whoever gave those emails to the Wall Street Journal was a personal vendetta against Gruden. Somebody hated Gruden so much that they dug up emails from 10 to 12 years ago to get this man going out of Las Vegas. They knew that he was making guaranteed money with the Las Vegas Raiders, and I feel like it was a personal vendetta.
Yep.
It was personal. Whoever had those emails, I don't know if it's from the Washington football team. I don't know if somebody had them or somebody sent them to somebody else, but somebody got paid to have those emails get revealed.
Yeah. Because you think about it, it's a selective part of the investigation.
Right.
Like people keep on saying, well, we need to demand the whole entire investigation as far from the Washington football perspective and dig up Daniel Snyder's emails. I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. And a lot of things will happen in this world before this happened. World hunger will end. World peace will begin. Like before that stuff get leaked out. But like you said, and it kind of just reminded me of like the Rachel Nichols situation where they've been sitting on this and it's waiting on it and it was the perfect timing. And then what I find so weird about all this is it felt so weird yesterday. Yesterday was really like by far like probably one of the most bizarre and strange days. Obviously, simple fact of the firing happened in the middle of Monday Night Football when essentially he was the face of this of this brand for that amount of period of time, and then ESPN investigating a wrongdoing of a former employee. Because it's funny because Rachel Nichols, they were really, really quiet about Rachel Nichols because obviously she's a current employee. But this one is like, I just found it because he sent these emails on their servers. And it's almost like no one, like, I found it really, it's almost like it was inescapable that ESPN had to report this. And I just found it weird, like no one really even bringing up ESPN in this content, because to me, you allowed this as well, and because to me, the whole thing of him not being an NFL employee, but ESPN is somewhat of an employee of the NFL. So I don't understand why people look at it, well, it's almost like he sent it to his regular like Gmail account or this, like as if he wasn't affiliated with the league. He's still affiliated with the league. He's a part of the Monday Night Football brand. The NFL pays ESPN billions of dollars, and he's the face of it. So,
he was the main broadcaster on Monday Night Football. He had his own Gruden camp. He had all that stuff ESPN gave him. But what's crazy about it now, looking back at it, if anybody could go back and watch that Raiders Bears game that we lost, 29. If you look at that game, everybody was out of sync. You could tell that this was a distraction and it divided the locker room. It really did. And I really hope now that the cancer is out of the Las Vegas Raiders organization, and hopefully we can move forward from this and focus on Denver and try to make a push. Because even with all this going on, you would think that the Raiders is 0-5 right now. You would think we 3-2 and we're second in the division. And this stuff going on it is a distraction. But I just hope that now we can move forward and get ready for Denver, man. Because Gruden is just it's bad. It's even bad to a point. I don't know if y'all saw today, but Tampa Bay took him out the Ring of Honor.
Yes. Yep. They took him off. Yep.
They took him out of the Ring of Honor just because of all of this going down.
Yeah. And that's that's another thing where we look at this, the whole symbolism of it, where it's like they don't even want to associate themselves with him, going forward. A guy that should have been, like you said, the team, as far as leading them to their first ever Super Bowl, he would be in most organizations be a legend. But due to
Right.
this, he's gonna, go down for this, unfortunately. So D, I really want to, like, as far as I know, before you head out, what's next for the Raiders? I know, obviously, Rich Bisaccia is going to be obviously the interim head coach. At this point, what do you see this franchise going forward, and then who do you? This is a short list. Who you think should be the new head coach in 2022?
Well, it's really going to come down, is Mark Davis going to really let Mike Mayock do his job as a GM? That's really the one thing right there, because Mark Davis gave all the power to Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden ran everything from player personnel to being like an assistant GM to Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock really didn't have to do no work the last couple of years he's been here. So
you think they need to get rid of him?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think Mike Mayock needs to try to turn his team around on his own as a GM. I think Mark Davis needs to give him a chance to go out and get personnel, because that's what we brought him in for. Player personnel. That's where his strength is at. But if you get rid of Mike Mayock, my next candidate is Louis Riddick. Bring in a former Raider that knows football outside of Mike Mayock, and you bring in Louis Riddick. But if Mike Mayock stays, can Mark Davis let Mike Mayock run the day-to-day duties and bring in the right head coach? And my first candidate is Eric Bieniemy. That is my first candidate. Eric Bieniemy is surprisingly, he didn't get a head coaching job all last year, where there was so many coaches needed, so many teams that needed coaches. So Eric Bieniemy is one. The offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, I think his name's DeBoy or something like that.
Brian Daboll.
Yeah, Brian Daboll. I think he's another. He's a good one too. That I think he come in and fit the system and help Derek Carr elevate to the quarterback that he's supposed to be. Unlike Jon Gruden is holding Derek Carr back for the last couple of years, but I'll never say more about that. Let me see. I like. It's a few people was talking about earlier today. They was saying Joe Brady, another one over in Carolina. So they my top three, to come in offensive minded. The only thing I'm nervous about now, if you bring in a new coach, we just brought in Gus Bradley this year, man. So it really sucks that Gruden is gone, and now we brought in Gus Bradley, and hopefully they'll keep Gus Bradley on this staff outside of bringing in a new head coach, because Gus Bradley, if you look at our defense, I mean, it's better than what it was in the last couple of years. Gus Bradley made some changes, and I just want him to stay, and he keep his defensive staff to stay. But it's a lot of changes that we have to make. But Eric Bieniemy is my number one as far as a Raiders head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
Shout out to the people, because I shared it on my YouTube. The Raider Nation is coming in, man.
Yeah,
coming in.
Ash Boys. I like that. I love that. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. And like you said, it's a great chance for you guys like start over and start off fresh with a new regime. Because like you said, Gruden, I mean, we had about four more years left of him. I said, well, no, I mean, no, ain't even it will be for about 6.
Yeah, I think he was in his fourth season.
So he had about 6 years.
About 6 years left on his contract. But since he resigned, from what I'm hearing, the Raiders don't have to pay him that money since he resigned and didn't get fired.
Yeah.
So the Raiders get to keep that $60 million that we have. Hopefully we could go out and get an offensive line, because our offensive line stinks right now. So hopefully we can use that money to go get an offensive lineman or something of that nature. But yeah, this situation in itself, the NFL saying that they're not showing, like they said something about not putting out the emails. They're not showing the emails, but they said it was 650,000 emails. I don't know how you look through 650,000 emails. I just don't know. Sound like a conspiracy to me when it comes to that, because who has that much time in the day to go through 650,000 emails? So it's just a list of things that Gruden really has to figure out. He won't be able to coach again at any level. I think his reputation is done. He can't. And the best thing for him to do, start a podcast. Jon Gruden, just start a damn podcast and get your following that way. Make your money that way, because you're not going to be on any more sports networks. You're not going to be on NFL Network. You definitely can't come back to ESPN now, because you just put ESPN in a bad situation.
Right.
So, Gruden, I don't know what you're going to do from now, because, if you was talking about women topless in bikinis, what's your wife going to say about this now? You might lose your wife too after this. Who knows? So,
right.
this Raiders team, looking forward, it's still 12 weeks left in the season. We 3-2.
Yeah.
I mean, we just gotta buckle down and try to win football games and put this behind us as a team.
Yeah. So, D-Hop, tell them where you can find your social media and any upcoming projects.
Well, I do have a call-in show tomorrow, live on the Spotlight Raiders Talk on YouTube. I do call-in shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm always uploading content on the YouTube, if it's from my phone or from the laptop, any of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be, hopefully, me and you could get together when we finally play the football team.
Yeah.
Finally when we play, we get that collaboration going.
Yeah.
And hopefully I could get a Denver Broncos YouTuber. I've been trying to find one for months now, and just can't find none, man. Them donkeys is hiding somewhere.
I gotta write them. I gotta get us Denver. I set you up with them.
Definitely do that, because like I always do every Wednesday before the game. I make sure I have at least a team YouTuber or a writer or something of that nature on there to do like a weekly preview. So if y'all want to follow me on Twitter, Spotlight Art and Talk, Facebook, Spotlight Raiders Talk, Instagram, Spotlight Raiders Talk. Y'all always see me on there. I'm always posting something. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. We do the Watching Football guys on Friday. So December 3rd, I'm actually chopping you in our schedule on December the 3rd at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time.
We need our payback too from the last time we played y'all. Man. We need our payback.
Yeah, we crushed David.
Y'all killed us with Kirk Cousins, man. Y'all killed me with Cousins
on a Sunday night. On a Sunday night in September. Oh boy. Yeah, I remember that. That was a fun game. But man,
it was a fun game for y'all because we look like shit. So,
but yeah, man. All right, D-Hop, appreciate you once again, man. We'll catch up with you December 3rd, bro. We got you.
All right, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. If you need to do some stuff with you, just let me know. Just hit me up.
No doubt, I got you. All right, appreciate
man.
you. All right,
see you later.
All right. I definitely appreciate D-Hop for coming on.
Yeah.
Talking about the Raider situation. We got another special guest. I got my guy Cole. What's going on, Cole?
How's it going? Thanks for having me out, fellas.
I'm good, bro. Of course, Cole is from Nothing But Airtime. Another Off the Ball Network guy, gang. What's going on, Cole? What's up?
Hey, I'm excited. Basketball's getting back. I'm excited.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, man. It's Sportstober. You got so much stuff going on. Obviously, we talked about football. We got, obviously basketball coming up next week. Season premiere. All baseball postseason. The beginning of the NHL season kicks off. Well, it's a kickoff or face off. Touche. But tomato, right? But yeah, so we definitely appreciate you for coming on, Cole, tonight. So we're gonna be talking about the NBA Western Conference. So I'm just gonna go around the horn, fellas. Your storylines to watch in the Western Conference. I'm gonna go with you first, Cole. What are your storylines to watch in the Western Conference?
I got two right off the bat, two of the bigger ones. I want to know if the Suns' success was fluky. Every time any team gets to the finals, there's some luck involved. You saw the Warriors get luck with Kawhi Leonard being hurt. Rockets had the Chris Paul injury. Then the Lakers were hurt this year in the first round against the Suns. So obviously there was some luck on the Suns side of things. Still a successful regular season team. Who knows if LeBron and AD are fully healthy, they go on the run they do. But I want to see if they can replicate that success, be that top four team that everyone expects with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. So that's my first storyline. And the second storyline is what is this Lakers team going to look like? What are the closing lineups going to look like? Is Russell Westbrook going to be in that fourth quarter tight situation with LeBron and AD? So those are two of mine. Two obviously of the highlight teams, one that won the Western Conference and then the one with LeBron James. So I think those are two of the biggest off the bat.
Yeah. Maui, your storylines, what you got?
Basically, man, I would say the same thing, but I'm very, I'm a Laker fan. So I'm really intrigued about the Suns to see if they're a fluke. I want to see if Denver can keep it up. Also, it's so many teams, man. Let's just be honest. Like, I want to see. The weirdest feeling in storyline. Let me stay there. I'm watching the Portland Trailblazers. Like, they've seen like consistent just to make it to a point, and it's always injuries or something ever since they made it to the Western Conference that year. And they haven't really, hadn't really been there. So I want to see if with this new coach, are they going to be able to stay consistent or move forward or go or still move backwards? And then I want to see if are they going to break the team up? Are they going to eventually, split the team up? Because I think they've been consistent. I think they really topped off a long time ago. So I really don't see them going any further. But so I really want to see if they're going to break up Lillard or McCollum up. Then I'm also I want to see what the Mavs are going to do with Jason Kidd being a coach. Are they going to? You think are they still going to be a playoff team? I mean, I know Luka is Luka, but are they still going to be a playoff team with this new, with Jason Kidd? So those are my two.
I'm interested with Portland too. Are they going to stay stagnant? CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, both seen their name in trade rumors. Ben Simmons is a guy that's seen his name in trade rumors. Right now, if I was Portland, I'd be trying to package that CJ Simmons, that trade, just to get something different in there. Portland's been terribly like mid all of my years watching the NBA. They're always at 4 to 5 seed, getting out in the first or second round. So making a move to possibly take that next step, getting younger, getting the guy that can take the playmaking load off of Damian Lillard with the Ben Simmons in there would be pretty interesting.
I'm sorry, Chris. Actually, Utah too. We forget that Utah was number 1 in the division last season. You know what I mean? So are they gonna stay consistent? They was dangerous. It was all injuries. You know what I mean? If you didn't pay attention, everybody got hurt in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely feels like a make or break year for Utah, I think.
I think it's a lot of teams.
A lot of it similar. I call this Lakers version team the salt and pepper Lakers. Can they stay healthy? I think that was my biggest question mark. And also to your point about the Jason Kidd situation, because we all know like how the situation was in Milwaukee, where we looked at, and it's funny how getting rid of him essentially propelled them to their success at this point, because at that point, remember, they were like kind of a version 7-8 seed that kind of lacked like the modern day offense. I know a lot of people had an issue of how how Jason Kidd handled this team offensively. And then talk about Portland, but I think a different storyline I think we might be on the verge of a daytime Emmy award winning soap opera with Dame versus Chauncey Billups. I wonder how that coexists. I know I wouldn't say there's been some little rifts, but this might be it's there's some rifts. But I'm interested in how this story, how this soap opera will play out during this season.
Absolutely. I think another good soap opera that we could see is Los Angeles. You don't have Kawhi there. You just have Paul George, and you have Eric Bledsoe in the door. Are they going to make a move to potentially get that second star? Is Kawhi going to come back this season? So I think another good storyline outside of the Lakers in Los Angeles would be Paul George in Los Angeles. Last time he was the focal point of an offense, he was that third vote for the MVP. So are we going to see that version of Paul George again? So a lot of big storylines in the Western Conference, a lot of fun ones, and we haven't even talked about the Warriors yet. Klay Thompson gets back,
right?
Steph Curry, Draymond, are they going to make a move? They got a lot of young talent and some cap space, so a lot of fun going out there. So
Yeah, that'd be really intriguing because they got a nice mix of veterans coming, obviously with Clay, Steph, and Draymond. And then they got pretty much some really good stacked youth guys. Like you look
Right.
at because they got Kamunga,
Mm-hmm.
what's his face, James Wiseman, and then
Cool.
and they got Mobley too, right? The other one, the guard.
Moody, the kid from Arkansas.
Moody.
Yeah.
Oh, Kendrick Perkins.
Stupid. You know,
Yeah,
another team I want. I really like Memphis, man. I really liked Memphis last year, and I'm hoping that the GM and the organization build upon that. They really did well, man. Young team, played hard defense. They made me really excited to watch the playoffs. You know what I mean? And I hadn't seen anything like that in a long time. You know, they gave Utah a run, man. They really did. You know.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson back healthy. You got him and Ja running together. They got rid of Valanciunas, so they're putting all marbles in on Jackson at that big man. So it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, fellas, what are the rookies to watch? Who you got, Cole?
You mentioned him. I like Moses Moody. I like Moses Moody off the bench at Golden State. You know, he's going to get a lot of opportunity. Him and Jordan Poole are going to be those spark plugs off the bench playing off of Draymond and Steph. He's a guy I'm interested to see. Kuminga, another one in Golden State. Obviously, Jalen Green we can't talk about Western Conference rookies without bringing up him, second pick. Kind of brought that heat on him with the whole Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green Summer League rivalry. We're going to see him kind of flourish in the limelight now. But the guy I'm most interested to watch is Darion Mitchell in Sacramento. He was pretty good at Baylor. He's a hard-nosed defender.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guards in that room. I think if a Buddy Hield trade shakes out or a Harrison Barnes trade shakes out, he's going to see a lot of opportunity early and often, and I think he's going to flourish. I think Darion Mitchell's a guy that could be an all-rookie first-teamer that was kind of at that later half of the top 10 picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Mal, were your rookies to watch?
No, I'm good. Y'all got it.
Okay. You know, obviously Jalen Green, that's the elephant in the room. I think he's just, as far as from a Western Conference perspective, a guy who, you talked about Darion Mitchell, and like you said, I think just him going to Sacramento is like the NBA graveyard. I hate to say this, but Sacramento is the NBA graveyard.
There's a lot of guards too, man. It's a tough rotation to crack.
Halliburton, like I said, Buddy Hield, Fox, who you think yourself, these are some real good guards. Like, I mean, they could, that I think down the line, if we look at them as a collective, like they're gonna, have immediate, they're gonna have impacts on teams in the future. I don't necessarily think they all had the same impact together in Sacramento, obviously, but and that one thing, at least Luke got some guards. I tell you that.
I think a lot of people are going to look back 10, 15 years from now on the Kings like a lot they did with those like 90s Cleveland Indians teams where they had like Manny Ramirez and Albert Bell. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, they had this much talent, never amounted to anything. So I think Sacramento is going to get that kind of next installment of that. So
and a guy who I think is going to be sneaky good. Well, it's two other guys I want to mention. Obviously, a guy in my backyard here in Richmond, Virginia, Bones Highland. I think he's in a good situation because he's in Denver. You don't necessarily need him as much, but I think coming off the bench, give you some time to scoring and do what he has to do. I think and he'll be on a going forward potentially a championship caliber type of team. So he'll be a tremendous benefit. And I think once Jason Preston gets after the foot injury and whatever, he was a guy. If he didn't get hurt last week, I probably would have put him at the top of the line. I think he'll get a lot of tick in Cleveland, Lord, and with Clippers. With the Clippers, especially with their situation at the guards, where you look at now, like you said, only you got Eric Bledsoe a return to the Clippers, which it's just like, and that's been so weird. Like it feel like that was been like many moons ago that he was in LA, but it hasn't been that long. But you see like that, and then I think Jason Preston would have I wouldn't say necessarily would have had an immediate impact on this team, but he would have got a lot of minutes, especially they're so like short when it comes to like from the guard position. So I definitely think he would have got a lot of playing time, and And the way Ty Lue was saying, they still don't have like necessarily a timetable when he's going to come back. So that's kind of the question mark. But I think if he was healthy, I would have definitely would have. He's more of an honorable mention for me at this point, just due to his injury.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we talked, and actually I coined this phrase from obviously Bill Simmons, the original pod father. Not to be confused with our guy Jeff, but Jeff is a pod father as well. But who is your Western Conference League Pass team? We talk about League Pass. It's a team that you'll just watch on a random Tuesday night if you're not watching Couch Coach Live. Essentially, a team that you will watch. So I'm going to go with you first, Cole. What you got?
Well, if Couch Coach Live ain't on, I'm definitely tuning into the Houston Rockets. I think there's some young talent there. They got Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Christian Wood. Jay Sean Tate was an interesting rookie last year. They got a lot of juniors there. Kenya Martin's kids there. They have a fun little five with Porter Jr., Green, Kenny Martin Jr., Jay Sean Tate, and Wood. They're going to have a lot of losses, but they're going to have a lot of highlights too. And when you're watching a bad team, you want that fun to watch. So I think the Rockets are going to be a fun, bad team. And then my honorable mention was the Kings. I think the Kings, they have a lot of talent there. They're not going to win a ton of games, but Fox is always fun to watch. You can always light it up for 30 or 40. Halliburton's a steady hand. Barnes, Hield. They got a lot of talent. They're just not figuring out how to use it yet, I guess. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Matt, we got any?
So basically, you saying it's a team that you regularly wouldn't watch from the Western Conference, or just whatever?
I think a team that you would just be like, "Oh, I want to watch this team," like on when it's just like a regular week, and just like we call it like a league pass team where you got the multitude of options, and it's just not like a prime time game necessarily. Like if you on a random night, a team that you would watch, like,
I know they made it to the playing game. I like Memphis. Like I really, really, really did like Memphis, man. I don't want to mess anybody's name up, but I just like the defense and the energy they was rolling. And you can kind of tell some of the issues that they were having because I think they needed more agile guys. Like some of the players that was coming in, they was kind of stiff and slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if they speeded their game up a little bit, switched on defense a little quicker, man, they would be dangerous, man. Like it really, really, really shocked me. Like they really was what's funny? I feel like they might be. Am I tripping? No, I ain't tripping. They might be the new Portland.
Potentially.
You know what I mean? Seriously, if you really paid attention last year, I think they might be the new Portland, man. Anyway, it would be Memphis.
Okay. Yeah. So, to Cole's point, the Rockets. I think Rockets are, they're definitely a good team. Like you said, they'll be a fun team to just watch in a random middle of the week. Obviously, Memphis is a good team. Definitely, but they got Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks. They're doing their thing.
Yeah, the Brooks was the guy I was talking about. I like his energy.
Yeah. The team I really like now who I will probably sit down and watch is New Orleans Pelicans. I like, I'm really curious about the biggest question mark to me is Devontae Graham. I think that's kind of a sneaky good move for them, even though they lost a lot, obviously, in the offseason. But I like teaming him up with Zion, B.I. I think that's going to definitely be a good team. There could be a kind of a little 9:30 tip off, 9:30 game in the southeast. Have a little dinner, maybe a little light, small glass of wine, and watch a little Pelicans basketball.
With New Orleans, don't sleep on Nickeil Alexander-Walker too. I think they got rid of Lonzo because that kid's going to take a big step this year.
Yes.
I'm all in on him this year. So
Virginia Tech, and then also my cousin Jackson Hayes. No relation, but
that's pretty cool.
That is my mother's maiden name. We ain't related.
You could have fooled me, right? Maybe some of the other listeners too. So,
but he just has my mom's maiden name. That's all.
I got you.
But So, got any Western Conference sleepers? Cole, any sleepers you got?
I know it's not much of a sleeper for their season success, but the lack of postseason success, I think the Utah Jazz are a Western Conference sleeper. Everyone's betting on the Lakers. The Suns made the finals. The Jazz were eliminated second round, if I believe, last season. I think the Jazz, this is a make it or break it year for them. This is that similar to the situation with the Bucks. You got to pay those guys in the upcoming summers. You got Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. The biggest problem was versatility around Gobert. Gobert, when the teams went small, he was unplayable. So what they do, they went out and they got Eric Paschall. They got Rudy Gay, guys that can play that small ball five, make that versatile lineup a little bit better. And with this team, you're betting on Donovan Mitchell to take that next step. And I think he's ready to take that next step. So I think the Jazz are a sleeper team out West.
Yeah. Got any Maui?
Yeah, me. I was gonna say, I don't know, man. I was just watching the Warriors, and a lot of those guys have been at the bottom of the barrel, and they've had to fight since, all these major injuries to their stars. And I think they're going to be a little dangerous this year. I think they're getting their confidence up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I really do. I seen something like to the point where I was like, man, Klay Thompson is a beast. But damn, you know what I mean? What if you can get something for him? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Seriously, what if you can get something for him with the way those boys is playing with passion and enthusiasm and shooting the ball away? They got two guys that I think it was Poole. It's a few. They got at least three guys I saw that were just knocking down threes. It was crazy in this preseason game, and I was like, oh, they're going to be dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Poole averaged almost like 25 a game in the preseason.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting there like, they gonna be dangerous. And then, having Andre Iguodala back, at least Andre Iguodala is there just to guide them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't really have to play as much, but just be the one on the bench to tell him what they need to do with his basketball IQ. I think that's going to be important. But, I would say Memphis, but I'm definitely. Even last year, I saw Curry coming back to be who he was. You know what I mean? And then, Drake. But I do think Draymond also is he's losing steps, and they're gonna have to make that start looking for another guy like him.
Yeah.
Or something's gonna have to happen. Yeah.
That's absolutely a trade that could, I think, happen. And you bring up Klay Thompson in trade rumors. I mean, Sixers need shooting. Warriors could use some defensive versatility.
And you get some young assets.
Yeah, you get Wiseman, you get Moody, you get Kuminga, whoever you want.
Yeah, whoever you want. Take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like right. Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Now he even got jabbed up. He good, bro. Don't go to Philly.
I don't know if Philly like him that much.
I know, right? I don't think so either.
He's empty calories as a person playing basketball, man. It's tough to watch sometimes.
He's a skinny pop and 0 calorie wine.
Yes.
Of the NBA.
It's crazy. Like his career, he averages more points per game in his career than Kawhi Leonard, and you would never guess that because he ain't done shit.
Right.
It's just the most weirdest thing. It's like you started off your career being omitted in LeBron James' homecoming piece, and then now you get to this point where it's just like. I feel so bad.
Like he was straight for Kevin Love at one point, and now all of a sudden we're looking at him like he's got $30 million in the bank, and why?
Right. So, and he's an NBA journeyman, like literally. Like,
yes.
And I hate that every time he gets traded somewhere, I always say he gets a fresh start, and it's like it's like his 5th fresh start.
Come on, guys.
Him and Jabari Parker, both of them. Jabari Parker's still getting those fresh starts too.
Jabari Parker has been everywhere. I mean, he literally has been almost just about anywhere, at least at each coast. He's representing each coast at this point.
Fox, Celtics, Kings,
everywhere. He
Mavs.
played for the Wizards, don't he? What he played for? Oh gosh, that would be a perfect what he played for on inside the NBA. Who Jabari Parker play for? He go Charles Barkley. I don't know. Maybe the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, that'd be definitely who he played for. I think we need to play that game. Who he played for?
I probably 7 or 8 teams already.
Yeah,
When was drafted? 13, 12?
Because he was with Milwaukee. I know he went to Chicago. I know we traded him to we traded him to the Wizards or something. No,
I think it was Kings. He was Celtics last year, which
he was the Celtics
weird.
last year. He went. Then he went to like the. Now he can go to the Knicks.
I think Hawks was one of them.
He went to the Hawks. Yeah, he went to the
one of them.
Hawks.
Yeah.
I think he might be. No, he ain't with the Hawks. That's right. He was somebody.
He's been everywhere. Too hard to.
And the Wizards. He was with the Wizards too.
He was with the Wizards.
Because he was part of that Tony Snell deal. No, it wasn't Tony Snell. It was Bobby Portis.
Yeah, Bobby Portis. Yep.
Yeah, when he was there, but now he's an NBA champion. But yeah. I think the sleepers. I think it's obviously. I think it's got to be the Grizzlies. I think they're another team that I think the height expectation 2 years ago in the bubble. They we figured they were going to make the playoff. They didn't make it. Obviously, they fell short. They made it this year. No, did they?
They beat
the Warriors. That's right. They beat the Warriors. I forgot. See, that's how this playing messes. It's messing with my brain. But yeah. So then that's another one. You look at can they take that next lead? And then like the Warriors. And I think the Warriors are a team now where even though we've seen their success, now it's almost like, it's kind of one of those moments, like I said, the defining moment for this team. It's almost like you got like we talked about it earlier, you got the championship nucleus, but you also have some pieces that could, that you're gonna be having going towards the future. And like you said, could that be a situation where what they do? They're in I call it like the Danny A stage, where it's almost like, they can go in either direction. Like they could, like you said, Mal, they pull the trigger on the Ben Simmons deal, but then you get rid of your future assets going forward. Like you want to, part ways with like a Kuminga or James Wiseman, and those guys. So you don't, like you said, they're in a weird spot. I put it that way. So they're in a spot where it's kind of interesting though. But yeah. So why the Lakers looking so bad this preseason? Hey, preseason.
Because Westbrook ain't the answer. I don't think he is, and I would have traded that package for Buddy Hield and went elsewhere with all the Lakers.
Yeah,
you put Buddy Hield next to LeBron James, he's shooting 44% from beyond the arc.
It's going to be okay. I'm telling you, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Brian going to figure it out.
Westbrook's the best regular season player in the NBA. So if their goal was to get one of the better regular season players in the NBA, because he don't care, because his effort and stuff is unmatched game by game. Nobody cares more in a random January game than Russell Westbrook. He can get that triple double and lead the team to the victory. But when it comes to Game 4, the first round, is he going to be able to temper that expectations playing with LeBron and AD?
He's probably not, because the best point guard on that team is LeBron, and number 2 is Rondo.
Absolutely. Rondo knows his role.
Right. So I think he's just going to have to calm him down. I watched it. You see a lot of anxiety. It's a lot, he home, he with the Lakers, a lot of anxiety there. He's going to have to calm him down and just play his game, man. I'm like, just stop worried about just going up and shooting and just play, Wes. We can tell he's thinking too much. You know what I mean? He's trying everything he can to play team ball, but it'll be all right.
I brought it up with the storyline. What are they going to look like closing fives in big games?
Right.
I don't know if he is going to be part of that closing five. I really don't know. I think it's going to look like some sort of LeBron, Monk, Melo, AD, Kendrick Nunn, some shooters around him.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
I think what I'm seeing too from the Bazemore it's going to be some quiet guys that nobody's really talking about, because Bazemore's defense is really well. And I think like even Nunn, like I just seen like it's preseason, man. That's why I kept saying, I was like, man, you really getting too emotional about a preseason game, bro. You know what I mean?
15 turnovers is sure a lot of the turnovers.
You know what I mean?
That's a heck of a lot of turnovers. I couldn't believe that when I saw that.
Right. So, fellas, let's round out our Western Conference preview. So we're gonna do our 1 through 10. Obviously, we got obviously the 16 that'll make the playoffs, and then obviously the 4 that'll be in the play-in. So we're gonna go around the horn. So who is the 10th team in the Western Conference? Who you got, Cole?
I've got a tie between the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans. I couldn't make up my mind on which team's going to be there, but I think the Kings and the Pelicans are two similar teams that have budding stars with an interesting roster around them. So I think that's going to be both those teams will be in the play-in range. I just couldn't figure out which one's going to be better.
Yeah. What you got, Maui?
Oklahoma and Sacramento.
OKC.
Hey man, I'm freestyling, so don't kill me.
OKC and who?
And Sacramento.
Okay. All right. So I actually got one definitive one. The people in South Texas will love me. Well, Mid-South. Go Spurs, go. Potentially. But hey, that's really being very, very overachieving if that happens. If they can get to that point, you might as well put Pop at the coach of the year, at least at the table, potentially.
No, yeah, I think that's fair. Deontay Murray, Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson should take a leap playing with the Olympics. I think that's going to be a good experience for him. So I could see it. There's definitely a version where that team takes off a little bit.
9th, who you got, Cole?
I got the Memphis Grizzlies 9th. I still think they're a year away. They're an exciting team to watch. I think Ja needs a Bradley Beal type player. I'm not going to say Bradley Beal, but like that second star that can play off the ball with Ja. I like Dylan Brooks, but he ain't a step up from Dylan Brooks. I think is that piece that they need to vault them into that top 6, top 5 range. And there's just a lot of good teams in the West. So I got the Grizzlies 9th.
All right, what you got, Maui?
9th, I got Portland.
Portland, okay. All right.
Freestyling.
It's all good, bro. Give me the Grizzlies. I got the Grizzlies at 9th. All right. The 8th seed.
That is where I have the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
I think it is going to be a mess. They've always been mid to me, and if they trade for Ben Simmons, it very well could vault them, or very well could tank them. I think 8th is a perfect spot for them.
Yeah. What you got, Maui?
We got 8th, right?
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Okay. All right. Give me the Blazers. I think they'll be in that spot. Cole, who you got at 7th?
The Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd doesn't do it for me, and Luka can be an MVP candidate all he wants. That roster around him is not good. So
yeah. We got Maui.
I got the same thing.
Man, that's okay. And I'm at a cross. I'm leaning more towards the Clippers, because I'm thinking Kawhi not playing this year. I mean, the way I'm projecting, I got the Clippers, as a 7th seed.
Clippers are my 6th. I think.
Okay.
Luka Doncic is a better basketball player than Paul George. There's no secrets out there, but I think the roster around Paul George, they just know how to win. You got veterans like Bledsoe, Serge Ibaka, Marcus Morris. They've got pieces, Reggie Jackson, that I think are better suited to win outside of what the Mavericks supporting cast is. So I got the Clippers 6.
Okay. Who you got 6, Maui?
Warriors.
Okay. GS. That loser. So who's your 5th, Cole?
I have the Denver Nuggets 5. Jokic is the MVP last year, but no Murray. It's going to knock him down a few slots.
Okay. Who you got, Maui?
We have 4th.
No, 5th.
I'm just messing with you. The Clippers.
Okay. All right. Your 4th seed. Who you got, Cole?
I've got the Phoenix Suns. Not much of a movement from last season. I just think some teams got better. They stayed the same.
Oh, I forgot to mention my 5th seed was the Warriors.
Okay.
Okay. What you got, Maui? Your 4th seed.
Same as Cole's Suns.
Suns. Okay. I actually got the Nuggets.
Who am I forgetting?
All right. So, who's your third seed, Cole?
I have the Golden State Warriors at number 3. I think they make a move. I think they come out the gates hot. I think it's going to be somewhat of a last dance for them, and I think they're going to have a really good regular season.
Yeah. All right, Maui, who's your third seed?
Man, don't judge me on this. I'm freestyling. I'm messing with you. Really, I'm gonna put the Grizzlies at the 4th, and I'm gonna put the Suns at the 3rd.
Oh, so you got okay.
I mixed them up by mistake. That's my.
Oh, bad. So all right, so you got Memphis. You said so. You got Memphis at 4.
Yeah, and I got the Suns for the 3rd.
Okay, so okay, all right, all right. In this case, give me third seed. We did the Nuggets already. Give me the Suns on this one. All right. 2 seed.
I have the Los Angeles Lakers. I think you're going to see some of those veterans. They're going to have some nagging injuries. I think LeBron is just going to take some time off. AD, just general rest, and they're going to gear up for the postseason. So I got them at 2.
Who you got, Maui?
I got the same thing.
LA Lakers, okay. Give me the Utah Jazz. I think they're gonna be second. And so all right, so who's y'all number 1 seed, obviously?
Back-to-back regular season. Yep, I got the Utah Jazz. I think just because they have to. They know they have to. They can't afford not having home court. And I like the moves they made this summer. So
yeah.
And then they were motivated last year. Because when Shaq had was talking bad about
Gobert.
About Mitchell and Gobert, you know what I'm saying? So they was motivated, man. Once they seen that window, they just kept going.
So
yeah.
What you got?
Yeah. The Lakers. I think the Salt and Pepper Lakers gonna do their thing this year. I think it's gonna be somewhat of a.
What is this salt and pepper stuff, man? That you're
nothing wrong with that though. That's good though. I'm salt and pepper gang as well. So that's actually a compliment. These guys are my age, which is good. I like this. I like that. Carmelo, a former class of 2002 guys on his team. Absolutely. LeBron James, born in 1984, only 70 days younger than me. Of course, I like this. I like having. It feels good to be that old and still be in the league and still actually doing something. Of course, it's not. No, it's not a slight. Now, when you're on the verge of 37, absolutely, this is it's great to make you get you a renewed lease on life. Like back when we were kids, 37, you were a senior citizen. You were getting grand slams at Dennis for like 99 cents. Like you were old. Like that's a different story.
Man, I was like, dang, I can't wait to grow up so I can get a grand slam for 99 cents.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I got 2 guys. Yeah, class of 1984. Yes, indeed.
So, Coco, who do you really think? I know that we did in the West Conference. Who do you really think gonna win the championship next year? Just throw it out there.
It might be a little hometown bias, but I'm going with the Bucks.
Okay.
I go to school in Milwaukee. I've been to school in Milwaukee for 5 years. I think Giannis is about to take another step. I'm just banking on Giannis hitting 70 to 80% of his free throws, and if that's the case, write it off in the league. And don't think
not having PJ Tucker is going to be a problem?
I think PJ Tucker is one of the most overrated players in the NBA last year. I really do. And look up the numbers, man. He got killed in the postseason. He had one of the worst defensive box plus minuses. And I think Bobby Portis, they got Grayson Allen off the bench. Rodney Hood is there. I think it was a better bench pickup than what they got for PJ Tucker. And PJ Tucker was asking for way too much money. I'd rather have Bobby Portis than PJ.
Please don't ever put Hood in an argument ever again, man. Rodney Hood, come on, don't ever do that again.
Hey, Rodney Hood was 15 to 20 a game in Utah before he tore that Achilles. So I actually think he's going to be okay.
That's when he didn't know they weren't going to win anything. That's why he was just like, I'm just going to shoot. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, I actually think that the team, they get DiVincenzo back, who's a big defensive stopper. They have Drew that can help up against Harden. No Kyrie for the Nets makes it that much easier for the Bucks to get in the East, and then they just have to I really like. If I was a betting man, I'd put a wager down on the Bucks winning the finals.
Well, Kyrie probably gonna end up being in Houston.
Kyrie
gonna retire. He can retire. He said he ain't going nowhere. He gonna retire.
Because Houston don't have no mandates.
No,
I mean Texas anyway. My bad.
He'd go to Dallas. That'd be pretty fun. Not just Kyrie for Porzingis. Then it's all crazy. Then it's all crazy.
Yeah, it would be just outrageous, crazy. Yeah, but yeah, man. So definitely appreciate you for coming on tonight with us, Cole.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So social media and any upcoming projects. What you got?
You can follow me on Twitter at Nothin But Airtime. That's NOTHINBTAIRTIME. We've got our fictional basketball tournament closing down here. We're in the Final Four. Some of the best characters you've ever seen playing some basketball. And then season 2 of the podcast is coming up when the NBA starts up. We're going to have a guest on doing some Tinder preview. We're swiping right, left, and up on different teams for our podcast for the start of season 2. So.
Yeah, man, definitely a great concept, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you, Cole, for coming on tonight. Always good to link up with another Off the Ball Network colleague. Gang.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So appreciate you, Cole, and we'll catch you on the next go round, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Have a good one, guys.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Definitely huge shout out to Cole, giving his doing his thing, nothing but airtime. Shout out to our guy. And then also shout out to our first guest tonight, D-Hop.
Right.
Talking a little Raiders. So we're gonna end the night. We're gonna do our week 6 NFL NFL picks. So let's get this thing going. We got Thursday night game. We got Tampa Bay going to Philly. Matt, who you got on this Thursday night occasion?
Tampa Bay.
TB. All right. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars, a battle of Florida in London. 9:30 a.m. start, 9:30 a.m. kickoff. Who you got in this matchup?
I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Okay. Got Miami. Give me the Duke of Locks, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Have they won a game yet?
No, they have not. No, they have not. And Miami only won one, so
right,
it's just as bad. So give me the Duke of Jacksonville, the Duke of Locks, Trevor Lawrence. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence, T-Law and them boys.
I know Gruden. Ain't nobody talk about Urban Meyer no more, huh?
Yeah, right. I know he like, thank God.
I'm like, whoo, shoot, thank you.
Exactly. We got Green Bay going to Soldier Field playing the Bears. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Green Bay, but I know that's a rival. But I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay as well. We got Cincinnati at Detroit. Who you got?
The Nat.
All right, you got Cincy. Yeah, and Cincinnati, please play Brandon Allen. Do not put Joe Burrow out here in the wilderness after that injury last week. Even with Brandon Allen as a quarterback, give me the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts.
Damn. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Yeah, give me the Colts too. After a heartbreaking loss last night, the Colts got to rebound. And what a better way to avenge heartbreak by playing the Houston Texans. The LA Rams. We got the LA Rams coming east to play the New York Football Giants. Who you got?
Rams. Ain't Jones hurt? And Barkley hurt?
Yeah, Barkley, Jones, Galladay. I think Sterling Shepard out too. I mean, it's gonna have a Mike Glennon versus Matthew Stafford. This is a old school Georgia versus NC State matchup. But yeah, give me the LA Rams. Yeah. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington Football Team, both coming in at 2-3. Who you got?
Wow. I know what I should pick.
I mean, go for it, bro. Go for it.
I know. I'm gonna pick. No, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I know one thing. They better win. They don't win.
Hey, they'll win. They'll be 2-4. Hey, we'll be 3-3 heading to Green Bay. Give me the Washington football team.
They're another situation. They're happy that this Gruden stuff going on because they should be getting talked about.
Oh yeah, they got talked about a little bit yesterday. Then at about 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hit. Oh yeah, that's when everything the focus got diverted. But yeah, give me the Washington football team. I still believe in this team. I think they'll take care of business. Minnesota at Carolina. Who you got?
Do you always just pick Washington football team, or do you ever just? All right, go ahead. Say them again. I'm sorry.
Nah, yeah. So I got they gonna win. Minnesota at Carolina.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I don't think Carolina I think Carolina's becoming exactly who we thought they were. Thought they'd be better, but I think it's becoming a situation.
In this case, give me the Carolina Panthers. Give me them. All right, so we got the LA Chargers going to Baltimore. We got Justin Hubbard and those boys coming to the Avenue. What you got?
So the Chargers versus who?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. Oh, I'm gonna go Ravens.
Okay.
I think those receivers are starting to get confidence. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, give me Justin Herbert doing his thing on the Avenue. Give me the LA Chargers.
On the what?
So on the Avenue. So I want to make sure. Do I literally have am I hitting that Baltimore accent? Right? Am I
no Avenue?
An avenue. Hulu. Let's go and watch Hulu.
You sound like you from like London somewhere.
That's what it me sound like, bro. Like, bro, talking like that's what they do. What is Hulu? What are you talking about? Hulu. Hulu. That's how they be in Baltimore. but yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah. Where he would go to the Avenue.
He went to the Avenue. Yeah. We got Arizona and Cleveland. Who you got?
Arizona.
Sorry, I lied to you, Baker, but I didn't want you to play Arizona. But actually, give me Cleveland. I think after what happened last week, I think they're gonna bounce back. That was a heartbreaking loss last week, so I think they're gonna take care of business. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at Denver. What you got?
I'm gonna go to Raiders because let me tell you why I'm picking the Raiders. This is the first year they was in Vegas, right?
Well, this is really technically their second year. This is probably their first full year with fans, but they were there last year. Yeah.
So yeah, man, and they've been doing well for that. I think, man, I think they're gonna win that.
Yeah. Sorry, D-Hop, but give me the Washington football team in the West. Give me the Denver Broncos.
Oh my God.
We got the Dallas Cowboys going to New England. Who you got?
Why would you Cowboys?
Okay. Tom Brady isn't walking through that door. Teddy Bruce is not walking through that door. Give me the Arlington football team. We got Seattle and Pittsburgh. This is a Geno Smith-led Seattle Seahawks.
Oh yeah, but this ain't still ain't fair. But yeah, I'm going with the Steelers.
All right.
Especially if they run the ball. It's got to run the ball.
Yes, you got Pittsburgh. All right, so I'm a big fan of Geno's Pizza, Gino Pizza, but give me Geno to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me Geno and the Seahawks. Upset alert special. But yeah. Then to round out week 6, we got a Monday night affair in Nashville. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. Who you got?
Bills.
Got the Bills. Okay. Yeah, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They'll take care of business with that is concerned. So now let's game ball and final thoughts. What you got?
Oh man, game ball. Damn, so many. I'm gonna give the game boy to the Hopewell boys. The man for Ohio State still doing this thing.
Yeah.
Definitely Daryl Taylor got his another sack. So what is that? His 4th sack. And I'm gonna give it Antonio Brown, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fastest to a 900 career passes and catches, man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's big, man.
Yeah.
That's big.
Game ball this week. I just give it to the obviously the Howard Springers. They doing their thing tonight. They pretty much destroying Henrico as we speak at this moment. So definitely huge shout out to the Springer boys. Just everybody that's playing high school football on a Tuesday night. That's definitely a very daunting task at this point. So social media and final thoughts. What you got?
Oh man, social media, Deshaun Morgan, Facebook, DT Morgan 78. Final thoughts. I really want to give a lot of respect to Tyson Fury. They had the trilogy this weekend.
Yeah.
It was a big fight. The energy was crazy. And you know me, man, I'm very technical when it comes to boxing. And to see what this man did technically to win the fight was just great. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like those subtle, when you watching the offensive line or when you're watching those subtle movements, you know what I mean? Those subtle things that you got to really watch to find out. And he was doing that. And I have a newfound respect for him. He just got Deontay's number, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to send a shout out for being able to be a part of that experience and being able to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, under Couch Coach Live. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get them. We're there. And unfortunately, some tough news I heard yesterday. I kind of talked about a little bit on Overreaction Monday. One of our guests, obviously, if you watched our NFC North and AFC North preview, we had our guy Alex Fleming. He's the host of the NFL Carousel that I'm on Thursday nights, covering the Washington football team. Unfortunately, we found out the news yesterday that he passed away. And just want to give my heartfelt condolences to his family. I know what I heard in the group chat, I think he has a daughter and also his mother. Sending his condolences to them, and all the condolences to everybody that knew Alex, NFL Carousel family, NBA Carousel family. What he was doing.
Wow.
I think was at the Florida Sun. Everybody who was affected by this loss. It was, one of the things was, unexpected. It's very unfortunate hearing that news hearing it yesterday, obviously we weren't air. I found out right before I went on last night, and we just, still even to this day, even now, I'm still in shock of it because I talked about a little bit yesterday. He was covering it, because he covered the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he was at the game. He tagged us and stuff, showing us videos of the game in our group chat, and and he passed away. So yeah, man. Once again, man, my deepest condolences to Alex and his family, anybody who's touched by this tragedy. I definitely want to appreciate the NFL Carousel folks. We all kind of, last night we talked, we kind of gave respects to Alex and everything, and it just felt kind of weird yesterday. So much stuff was going on. And it's like normally he'll be in the group chat. We'll be talking about stuff, kind of make it fun, like joking about stuff, or just even talking about just stuff in NFL related. He definitely felt the of him not being there last night. There was so much stuff going on last night. We had a terrific finish to Monday Night Football. We had earth-shattering news of Jon Gruden getting fired, and then just all that. Yeah, man, definitely. It's definitely a tough go at it. I definitely appreciate what he's done as far as when he came on our show. He pretty much came on our show like last minute. He he hit me up saying, "Hey, I'm down." Obviously, when he was here, he was actually doing, he was working and doing his thing, and still taking his time to to be with us,
part of
have
the
a great
show.
time, be a part of the show. And then also, give me the ability to cover the Washington football team on the NFL carousel. So I'm always forever indebted to his belief, and definitely appreciated what he did for me. And it's one of the things where you realize some people don't have to be in your life for a long time to have an impact in your life. I think that's another one where even in the short time that we knew each other, his impact is felt. And that's how the sentiments was echoed in our group chat yesterday. And then just seeing other people that's not involved with the carousel necessarily, but people who knew him, like shout out to my guy Tyler Butler. We talked yesterday. He told me how he hit him up before he even knew what happened, because that was, he looked to him for like advice, or just kind of just talk to him about stuff. And and then when he told me that story, that was nothing where it was sad. And it's crazy, one of the last times I talked to him was like 2 weeks ago, and I put on one of my boys, Stu, on to the opportunity of being on the carousel. And I appreciate him actually for entrusting me to bring on somebody else to cover the team. I definitely definitely appreciate him essentially giving me and Stu that opportunity, and actually giving me the opportunity to actually to bring Stu in for this. So yeah, man, it's definitely a tough loss, man. It's just one of those things where it just make you appreciate the grind. Sometimes when we doing shows stuff, it can get monotonous. But I look at that situation, and then even when we talk on him, on the show, where he went to Canton, went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and just talked about how great of a time that was. Those type of things I always remember about him, and it's just it's definitely. It's a huge loss, man. It's just
man. That's sad.
Yeah, man.
Excuse me. That's crazy, man. I was just thinking about him.
Yeah,
I thought he was really entertaining to talk to. Well, man, sending prayers and love and strength, energy to his family and friends. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's stuff, and then what's all of it. It's just when you sit down, you really think about like how we literally, and like he was, he's in our watching football chats. And he, keep on talking about telling Heineke, and he even said something, even, and unfortunately, even, it's talking about like, is this y'all hero? This y'all franchise quarterback? Yeah. And I would see it, and I just laugh like, I'm not gonna entertain that. I'm just gonna hit him up Thursday. We talk about that. Like I said, it was one of the things where it's really, I was looking forward to, doing the show on Thursday. I know because he, like he told me, look, Buffalo gonna take y'all to the woodshed, and I'm like, look, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about what you saying about my team. But yeah, man. But
even when he spoke about going to the Hall of Fame and how he had to go to the Hall of Fame, and how he said he was in the room, and him and Tomlin was the only two African Americans in the room.
Yeah,
that's big, B.
Yeah,
that's big, man.
But yeah, man. Once again, man, rest in peace. To Alex Fleming, man, my condolences to Alex's family and everyone who was touched, who was impacted on this, on this sudden, extremely tragic situation. Once again, man, it's just another reinforcement. Let us all know that we're all on borrowed time, taking advantage of everything that you do. I will always, like we talked about, and have impact on people's lives. because that's all. That's what all ultimately boils down to.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where it's just like it's just another constant reminder. You're on borrowed time, and love on each other.
Right.
Be with people. Be around people.
Yes,
Be around people who enrich your soul, enrich your spirit. People who advocate for you. Be in
Right.
rooms that people celebrate you. They don't tolerate
Right.
you. Be around people who give you life.
Right.
And have impact on people's lives. And like you said, it's and if in one, like I said it earlier, it's to a point like with him, I only knew him for a few months. I think he was a part of NBA carousel, and so I was a part of that starting like in December, January. To have an impact in such a short period of time, just let you know how good of a person Alex really was.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels so weird now that you talk about him in the past tense. But
right.
Yeah, man. But definitely once again, my condolences to his family, his friends, everybody who's been impacted on this loss. But yeah, man. So let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. So, man, we'll catch you guys next week, man. This has been this week's Couch Coach Live.
Welcome.
All right.